Dr. Lonny here, back with another episode from Good Soap Sense Co. Today, I'm going to make a generic logo for our main service, which is to provide a custom business logo soap. But what I found is that all the logos that I use are proprietary and copyrighted to the businesses that we create them for. So it's difficult to use them for marketing. So what I'd like to do is create a generic logo to market and promote that part of our service. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we'll jump right into it. So here we're back in Inkscape. And if you followed my other videos, what I do is I create a image or download an image or create an image via AI that then I can load into Inkscape as a JPEG or PNG file. And then what that does is it converts it into an SVG file, which then I can use for use in 3D modeling. So we're going to import one that I've created. Here it is. I created this on my phone using an app that's called Polish, and I found it to be very useful. Now, when I do this, I have to get this image size down, or it will be too big to use, and you notice that it disappears. Generally, when that happens, it's moved it off to another part of the screen. So let's just go ahead and pick it and move it back where we can see it. We don't actually need to see it to do this, but just for visualization purposes, I think it's helpful. All right, so the way that Inkscape works is first you import it, which we did, and then you have to trace bitmap it, and we use brightness cutoff is the one I found to be best. Logos are best when they're simple and they have thick lines, and this is for modeling purposes. So this model that I've hand drawn on Polish uses thick lines, simple. The original one that I was looking at had bubbles all around it for the soap, which is possible to do, but I found it was a little more than what I felt I needed for this application. So we apply this, and then we go to export. I like to export the selected only, and then select on this folder here. And we want to save it as an SVG file. And we'll call it, well, we'll call it your logo here. And we're going to save that to my 3D folder. And so now what we're going to do, we'll stop share here. And then we're going to move to the next application, which will be Tinkercad. Well, here's Tinkercad, and we're going to go ahead and import the SVG file that we just created out of my 3D folder. While that's loading, we're also going to import a soap models. So here's the logo. We'll move that over here. And here's the soap bar. I just want to see how large that is. So I go to inches to kind of get a better sense. So 2 by 3, that's a fairly small bar, but I think it's good for this purpose. So we're going to go ahead and raise this up to the level of the soap. Obviously, it needs to be smaller. Get a little better orientation on that. We're going to create that as a whole. So we want to do it as an embossed. So we're going to lower that. Actually, we're going to change the depth. We also change it back to millimeters. Change the depth to 4 millimeters. And we're going to go ahead and lower that into soap. Center it. We're going to merge them. We're going to export it as an STL file. We'll call it your logo here. You see, I've already done one, so I'm going to call it 2. Go ahead and stop share. And then we're going to bring that up in another application called Cura. All right, so here's Cura. And so what we're going to do is we're going to open the STL file that we just created. There it is. I'm going to go ahead and move it up to this simulates the 3D printer bed. And we're going to go ahead and start heating that up. And we'll get a better orientation so you can see it here. We'll zoom in a little bit so you can see that there. And this is where our settings are. Whether we need it super quality or something less, I'm not sure that we need super quality, but let's go ahead and do maybe dynamic. It really affects the speed time. And for this application, I'm not sure we need the best print. And go ahead and slice that. Slice it simply means just preparing all the code that's needed to print it on a 3D printer. You can hear the 3D printer humming. That means it's warming up. And then I have the 3D printer connected via USB. It's going to take 2.5 hours. We'll go ahead and print that to USB. And I'll be monitoring the progress. And I will go ahead and provide some video updates for the print. Once it's printed, we'll pour the silicone rubber, make the mold, and then we can pour the soap. So thank you for joining again. Like and subscribe, really appreciate it, and hope you enjoy this video.
And here we conclude the creation of the Your Logo Here soap. I think going forward, I would probably use a different font to get a clear lettering for this, but I think it's been a good exercise and not a bad result. I think it can be improved on, though. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and learning about the technology of soap making. And if you enjoyed this, please like, follow, and subscribe. Much appreciated.